It's the National Football League on EA Sports. And if it's in the game, it's in the game. It's the Houston Texans and the New York Giants. And it's coming up next on Madden NFL 25.
Well, the Giants began play all the way back in 1925. And almost 100 years later, this venue was built to house their next era. MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Joined by a former NFL quarterback up in the booth, Mr. Brock Heward. I'm Kate Scott, and Brock, you can brag if you'd like to, because I know you had quite the big arm in your days with the Huskies and the Seahawks in Seattle. Well, we've got a couple of quarterbacks here who also know how to push that football down the field.
Yeah, you got a couple QBs who are going to keep these defenses honest today, because the moment they get greedy in coverage or get too aggressive in the pocket, either of these quarterbacks can drop a dime, drop a deep throw right over him for big yardage, and maybe 6 points too.
Kaimi Fairbairn ready to get this one going. And away we go from East Rutherford. Fielded at the 7. And he's brought down just inside the 25 on the return. So out come the Giants, their first drive of the game coming up. They'll be led out by this promising young signal caller, already a starter in his first season out of Ole Miss.
Kate, when I watch these rookie quarterbacks running out to open a game, I think of the old World Series great pitcher Cliff Lee. And he made a one-handed play in the World Series and was asked about it afterwards. They said, man, how do you have so much poise? You didn't even look nervous on that stage. And he said, sometimes you got to fake it till you make it. You got to tell yourself you'll be just fine. And these rookie QBs, that's part of the learning curve they're climbing.
2 on the pickup there, and it's going to be 2nd and 8. They go right back to Tracy. And defenders are there to get him at the line. Will Anderson Jr. in on the stop. Back-to-back runs, yielding just 2 yards, and now it's 3rd and 8.
I don't mind that call on the early downs. Give that defense something to think about. You got the inside run between the tackles, and whether it's jet sweeps or a little swing pass, or in that case a toss, make sure you threaten to the outside.
Here he is on 3rd and long. He's on them, trying to get away from the pressure, but he can't, and they drop him. And the defense comes through to back him up ahead of 4th down.
Every defense in this league is going to sign up for a 3-and-out to begin a ball game. But to send him off the field, to really add that extra tone setter by backing him up with a sack, well, that's the cherry on top of that 3-and-out.
Fourth down, we're going to see an incredible nickname, one of my favorites in the game, the Scottish Hammer, Jamie Gillen, on the punt. And he's brought down before the return gets far. So here come the Texans for their opening drive. And leading them out is the 2nd overall pick back in the 2023 draft from the Ohio State. It's C.J. Stroud.
It didn't take long for C.J. Stroud to make an immediate impact into the NFL, and it didn't take long for me, Kate, to form an opinion, but this guy's just different. He just processes the game quicker. Remember talking to Ryan Day on the practice field in Columbus, watching him in college, and he just alluded to that as well.
And he's in! Touchdown, Houston! The Texans get a perfect start. They've gone up 6-0. It's a Christian Kirk touchdown. He finds one of his great receivers, Brock, and they are off to a great start to begin this ballgame.
Yeah, it's such a positive offensively when you can go find not just a field goal, but a touchdown on that opening drive. And defensively, this starts to shake the foundation of your preparation and makes you wonder what's in store.
Here's Kaimi Fairbairn on for the extra point. The point after splits the uprights. And the Texans will jump out to a 7-0 lead. Fairbairn has it all set up for the kickoff. This one's fielded at the 4-yard line. And this drive will start inside the 25. Now for the second time this game, we get a look at the New York offense. They didn't start the game off like they wanted, Brock. Still searching for that opening first down as they take the field a second time. Back to throw on 1st and 10. Escapes the pocket. He tucks it and takes off. And he protects himself with a slide there after a decent gain.
I love that play. I mean, that's quarterback 101. Nothing downfield, get what you can with your legs, but so much more importantly, protect yourself. Availability, one of the most important abilities for any quarterback.
From the 29, able to hit Robinson, complete. And he'll pick up enough to move the chains.
Well, the odds aren't great when you throw into double coverage. Normally you see one of the defenders make a play on the ball. 2 men nearby, and that's a missed opportunity for the coverage to make an impact play.
Here's 1st and 10 from the 34. Off the play fake, he's going to throw. Finds him on the crossing route. Down the left sideline he goes. It's a huge pickup on the play. And that will give them some serious momentum along with a first down.
You know, Kate, we often talk about flipping the field in special teams, right? A kick return, a good punt. Well, an explosive play like that does the exact same thing. Look at the difference in field position. By hitting on that shot, you've totally flipped the field and the tone of this drive.
Thinking touchdown here after that big play. We've got 1st and 10 from the red zone. Oh my, it's intercepted in the end zone.
Well, that's it right there. That's the resilience and the mental toughness that every coach wants to see from his defense. Not a great spot for them. Backed up close enough that they're going to get shots taken in the end zone. But instead of collapsing under pressure, they rose up and they created the takeaway.
This Texans offense readied up for its second drive of the contest. And they take the field exactly where they want it to be, Brock. Up a touchdown early and with the home crowd a little quieter than normal.
I'm not going to lie to you, Kate. I think most quarterbacks, competitors love playing on the road when they do just this. Just quiet them, right? Turn them against their own team. They were quiet after that opening touchdown. You score another one, they're going to start to murmur, and we might even hear a few boo birds.
And he'll go down after pushing this up to the 29.
There's no routes on the old proverbial route tree, Kate, that takes more trust than throwing an out route. You're throwing it to a spot and believing your guy can get there.
Nice spot here for the offense. It's 2nd and 1. Putting a receiver in motion. 2nd and 1. Into the hands of Schultz. And he'll go down after fighting his way to the 32. He only finds a window for 2, but that's still enough for a first down.
That pitch and catch won't show up as a big play on the stat sheet, but it gives his own defense a little time to rest and gives an offensive coordinator a new set of downs to work with.
It's a new set of downs for him at the 32. Here's Stroud on 1st and 10. That's a catch for Nico Collins. And he gets him around 6 there. Micah McFadden able to make the play.
Well, he saw his guys pick up the blitz. Well, he felt them pick it up anyway if he wasn't looking at him. But with their effort on his behalf, I think this QB felt owed to them and the group up front to find somebody to get a completion, so that effort up front wasn't in vain.
Running for the first time with Joe Mixon. And he's tackled with the first down yardage.
Well, looky here. You don't even have to worry now about a third down call as that run moves the sticks. Now that call you had ready, though, you can recycle it. Save it for later, for that next third down coming.
Let's see how they attack this first down, Brock, from the 43. Here's Stroud now. Has him on the quick hitter. And he'll cross the 50 and start pushing onto the opposing side of the field.
The goal of that little drag route is to get him for at least a minimal gain with space to add after that. That picked up a good chunk, and it was nearly a big play.
Nice spot here for the offense. It's 2nd and 1. A give to Mixon up the middle. And his short gain gets them a new set of downs.
Hey, I know the temptation is there. If I'm thinking it in the booth, I know that play caller is too. That could have been a chance to be aggressive. Not the case. Go get the first down like they did, and a new set of downs to work with.
Football on that 47-yard line, 1st down. Operating from the gun, it's Stroud. Completed to Collins. And he takes it just inside the 40, down to the 39.
I feel so bad. I really do. And I don't mean this sarcastically, Kate. I feel bad for these guys in coverage. I don't know how you defend some of these players today because they get that drag route, they get one step inside of you. Well, there's very little you can do other than make the tackle.
From the 39. And his perfect start is over. And that's the first one of his throws to wind up incomplete.
I think you're seeing why they like this guy in coverage, man. He reacts well to throws and is so adept in breaking up passes right through contact or before they ever reach the target.
So after that prior incompletion, we've got 3rd down. Running with Mixon out of the gun. And that short gain is enough for a new set of downs.
You love a huddle? Kate, you really do. You love a huddle full of guys like this who just know how to keep the drive moving forward. There's some trust there that he's going to get the job done, and he's going to get another shot, I would guess, down the line.
They're set up at the 35 now. First down, and they go right back to him. And the defense is all over this one for a big loss.
This is one of those plays that I wish we had the huddle mic'd up, Kate, because I can assure you that offensive line in their own way is telling that running back, sorry, we did not give you any chance.
Everyone's prepped. It's 2nd down now. Now they send their back in motion right. 2nd and 13. Short pass brought in. He gets forward, and that's about 4 yards. Bobby Okereke making that stop.
You know, Kate, over the years, I have heard defensive coordinators say, hey, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. You got to earn the right for me to call blitzes. And when you call a blitz and you don't get home and you don't hit the quarterback, you've earned nothing.
So 3rd down, Giants trotting out 6 DBs in the dime set. Has his man, it's Mixon. And they can't bring him down until he gets into that red zone at the 19. That's 16 on the pickup. And the Texans are going to have a 1st down.
This running back is a mismatch maker. That's how I label him on my little sheet right here. Right under his bio, this guy just creates matchup nightmares for every defender on the field.
And he's able to rip off a chunk of red zone yardage to the 10. It's a solid pickup of 9 yards, and that brings us to the end of our 1st quarter. And they can go ahead and stay in that huddle. We're at the end of the 1st quarter. 7-0 is our score. We'll get back to East Rutherford after this. Welcome back. Time for our 2nd quarter. The Texans with a chance to score. From the gun, Stroud. The Bats got it. Touchdown, Houston. So, Brock, this offense looking sharp here in the 1st half as they extend their lead.
You know, and when things are going well, sometimes you really just get into a groove. And this is a unit that's putting the pieces together.
Fairbairn now for the PAT. Right down the middle, it's good. And the Texans double their lead to 14. Fairbairn has it all set up for the kickoff. Gray now on the return. He stopped on the return at the 27. New York taking over once again. The offense heading out. They haven't been able to get that offense going just yet, Brock. The deficit at 14. And the drive will start out with a 1st and 10. Trying to shake off the interception. He's looking to throw. Finds his target, Robinson. And he'll push this upfield and earn them a new set of downs.
Move the chains! Gotta move them chains! Build momentum and keep that defense on its heels.
They'll head up 1st and 10 from the 42. Pass play now. Got it, man. Robinson has it. And they get this down to the 44 before he stopped. That play gains 15, and it moves the sticks.
Good offenses. Okay, good play callers know how to utilize their personnel. They know where they wanted him. They wanted him in a route in space where he could make that initial play comfortably, but then go to work after.
From the 44-yard line now, 1st and 10. A give to Tracy up the middle. And he gets up for a gain of about 4.
You know, that's a good run right there to keep the offense on schedule. If he can average that type of yards per carry, this guy's going to be more than all right with letting him lead the show.
2nd and 6 coming up here. Looking to the air here. He's on the move. He'll step up, and there he goes. And they bring him down. Looks like he got it to the 27. They get 13 on the pickup. And the Giants will have a 1st down.
As long as these are the results he's getting, they're going to be just fine with him calling his own number. He does such a good job of seeing the field and knowing when it's his time to take it himself.
Throwing now on 1st down. Completed over the middle. And they get this down to the 10-yard line before going down. That's a pickup of 17 yards, partner, and it makes it 1st and goal.
You know, Kate, you'll find teams go to this crossing route concept sometimes a dozen times a game. And a lot of times it's for shorter yardage, but sometimes things break in the right coverage for a much bigger impact play, just like that.
On the handoff, this is Tracy. And he's brought down for a loss.
You know, Kate, during draft season, I was talking to an NFL GM, and he said, you know what, in time, we're going to realize tackles for loss are just as big a deal as sacks. Sacks get so much of the popularity. Tackles for loss, when you knock that offense backwards, I promise you, in time, we'll be keeping a closer eye on plays like that one.
Shotgun snap, looking to throw. Pressure gets to him, and he goes down. That's a sack. We do have a marker down. But where it's at on the field, partner, that sure looks like it's in the neighborhood of holding. Well, that play went for negative yards anyway, so no need for them to accept that penalty. 3rd and long for him here. He's got him. That's Tracy. And he's out of bounds inside the red zone, just short of the 15.
It's plays like that, Kate, right, wrong, where I sit and judge a defense. I judge the awareness. I judge how well that coordinator's got him equipped to see what's going on the field, and not just see it, but attack it. And they devoured that screen game on 3rd down.
The kick by Gonzalez is good. And that'll get him back to 11.
That's the type of long, sustained drive that takes some of the starch out of your opponent. The only negative is that the kicking team was out there for a field goal and not an extra point. But they do come away with 3.
Gano ready to send this away. Damian Pierce now to return it. Coverage team gets him down at the 26-yard line. Houston's offense back out now and ready to go. And that lead they've got, Brock, they are never going to have to worry about losing it if they keep scoring every time they touch this football.
Is that how it works?
It surprisingly is. You know, if you have the lead and you don't lose it, you win.
And that type of start, well, you wanted all 17 games of a season, but you're lucky to get it more than once.
And he found some running room for a nice gain. Call it 7 yards, and now they'll have 2nd down and 3.
So much to like about that run, Kate, particularly what he was able to get out of it. The defense, I think, feels a little fortunate they were able to track him down before an even bigger run and crossing that 1st down marker.
It's Mixon on 2nd down. And he'll get it up near the 38-yard line before going down. It's a 4-yard gain, and that's going to get him across the marker and earn the 1st.
I don't know about you, Kate, but he sure made getting that 1st down look really easy. A lot easier than it's supposed to be for that defense, and I think they'll hear about it when they get to the sidelines.
1st down, Stroud. Got his target, it's Higgins. And that's good yardage there with a new set of downs to boot.
And those are the completions they rely on from their passing game.
The drive picks up here, 1st and 10. Kirk in motion left. On play action, here's Stroud. Flushed out of the pocket. Now he takes it.
He made something out of that play for them. Everyone's so concerned with defending the pass, they didn't quite keep tabs on what he was doing as a QB, and it gave him just enough room to run.
2nd and 6 coming up here. Shotgun now for Stroud. Finding Collins. And he works this to the 38 before going down. A 9-yard gain and good for a 1st down.
There's no question the greatest concern there was just getting the 1st down. You want a high percentage throw, and you're not really concerned about big yards. Well, the drag route was perfect. He comes open in the short field. It's easy to zip that throw right in there and reset those chains.
Stroud throwing here on 1st. Complete out to the right. And they catch up to him, but not until he's got a huge gain and a 1st down. That chunk worth a nice 21 yards. And it sets up a Houston 1st.
Wow, certainly found the weak spot in the coverage with that catch. Really goes to show they trust every single player, receiver, running back, in that case tight end, to be a playmaker in this offense.
So it's the 2-minute warning here from MetLife. The Texans pushing for a score before the break. Up to the line, and they're set. 1st and 10. Now it's Stroud. This is complete to Schultz. And that tackle stops him after a solid gain.
The goal of running that drag route is to get it to him for at least a minimal gain with space to add after that. They picked up a good chunk, and there was nearly room to add even more.
After a good pickup, they've got 2nd and 4. To the air yet again, it's Stroud. Pocket isn't holding up. They're able to drop him. And that pushes them back. 3rd down coming up.
Bend. Bend. Even good defenses, great defenses in this league, Kate, they're going to bend at times, but you never want to break. And when you get a sack in the red zone, well, that goes a long ways to helping your efforts.
Five men in the secondary for the G-men now, ahead of 3rd down. Back to throw, Stroud. Again, he's under pressure, and he goes down. The Giants using their 1st timeout. They'll have 2 left to work with before halftime. Kaimi Fairbairn out there now to try a field goal for the Texans on this 4th down. This is a 42-yard look from the left hash. Everly's kick is good. And that extends their lead to 14.
A dependable kicker, man. That is a coach's best friend. Saves him so much stress to have a guy he can really trust to go out and hit it from that distance consistently, because from that far out, no kick is a guarantee.
Fairbairn has it all set up for the kickoff. Has this at the 6. And he's going to make this to the 28 before going down. This offense headed back to the field, led by their receiver. Not a whole lot of time left for him to put something together here before the break. A little less than 30 seconds to go as they begin this drive. To throw it on first down. Caught by Theo Johnson.
Kate, I can't tell you how good that is. Anticipating the outcut, having the ball on the way before the receiver's head even turns, he puts it on him so that receiver can easily get out of bounds for the nice gain.
Let's see what they want to do here, partner. It's 2nd and inches. From the 38. Escapes the pocket. Stepping up, and he's going to run. Timeout called, and that's going to be the 2nd for New York. And they still have one in their pocket for what's left of this half. They'll head up 1st and 10 from the 42. Throwing now from the gun. Like a good target, Brock. Neighbors is there. And they'll have it a little shy of the 40 as he goes out. He finds him 16 yards and a new set of downs.
It was such a privilege for me to watch Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne in person in Indianapolis do their work. Daryl Jaxson out in Seattle. They showed how great a deep out is as a chain-moving play. It's all about getting that leverage at the top of the route and then exploiting the leverage as that ball arrives on time downfield.
And he'll get this down to the 33-yard line. Just before halftime, we get a timeout taken. Graham Gano and the Giants field goal unit out. This a 50-yard look from the right hash. And this kick is good. He needed to get all of it there, and he did. And that'll get him back to 11.
Okay, one of the areas that kickers and quarterbacks are similar, they want to get into rhythm, and no better way to feel good and get into that rhythm than start a game 2 for 2 as a kicker.
Time left for maybe a return plus a play here as they send this away. And he opts not to bring this one out, so they're going to enjoy some good starting field position from the 30. All right, keeping it simple. They're just going to call a give right up the middle. And he found some running room for a nice gain. We've come to halftime. The Texans in unfriendly confines, but hey, they've got the lead. Now down the coast we go to Orlando, Florida, in our studio there. Jonathan Coachman waiting by with the EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Kate, thanks very much. Back to you and Brock in a bit. But first, time for our EA Sports Halftime Report.
As always, a hat tip to Coach for his hard work during the break, as we're happy to welcome y'all back for the start of our third quarter. Gano ready to send this away. Set to return, this is Braxton Berrios. And in the end, he's able to get it to what used to be a touchback. It's at the 25 after the return. The Texans and C.J. Stroud all set to go for their next drive. And as we see some of the highlights from their showing, his work a big part of why they're in front right now. Having a nice, solid game as their offensive leader. I think we can say he's had a firm grip on the wheel and has really driven them to this advantage. They're out and set, 1st and 10. Stroud off the play fake. Defender arrives right as the ball does, and the hit knocks it free, incomplete.
That was almost a nice chunk play before he was able to recover and provide the hit that dislodges the football. You like to see that physical edge and scrappiness to contest any kind of shot plays deep.
No dice on that prior pass. Here's second down. Operating from the gun, it's Stroud. Finds him over the middle. And he'll have a small 4-yard chunk there. Javon Holland there to make the stop.
Well, that's a modest little drag route, but if you ever just need a safe, short gain on the throw, that's a go-to route to target.
They come to the line here, and this is 3rd and 6. Here's Stroud. That's caught for the first. And they'll take him down at the 43-yard line. The end result there, 15 yards and a first.
That's what we call situational football. You spend all week working on your nickel passing game package to take advantage of third downs just like that.
Let's see how they attack this first down, Brock, from the 43. From the gun, Stroud. Short pass caught by his tight end. And they'll bottle this up after a 4-yard gain. Brian Burns coming up with the stop.
Well, that's a pretty similar result to a first down run play. Moves it forward, keeps you on schedule, and makes second and third down a whole lot easier to manage.
2nd and 6 coming up here. Running left is Mixon. And this is through the midfield stripe and onto the Giants side of the field. Call it 4 yards, and they're set up with a manageable 3rd and 2.
You know, Kate, these are some of the little hidden plays in a game, right? Doesn't look like a whole lot on the stat sheet, but A, it gets you good yardage, B, it sets up your play action, and C, most importantly, keeps that defense guessing.
3rd down, Mixon gets it. And he'll get them enough for a first down.
Okay, you know me, I can't resist. I thought we might have needed the old Gene Steratore index card down there, making a really close measurement to see if he got the first down or not. But in the end, well, the right call was made. He got just enough to move the chains.
New set of downs for him from the 46. And the receiver's going to take this one on the jet sweep. And he'll get this forward, and he's stopped at the 37. Give him 9 yards. He almost moved the chains there. It's going to be 2nd and 1.
Well, that doesn't net a first down. You get yards like that in the run game, you will take it in the NFL.
Nice spot here for the offense. It's 2nd and 1. Running back sent in motion. From the 37. Has him on the quick hitter. And they take him down right along the 30. That one gains 7. And the Texans are going to have a first down.
Well, they got him down before he could do any more damage in terms of yards. And that's no easy job, mind you, tackling a big tight end. But the main damage had already been done. He kept this drive going by getting beyond the line of game.
Here's Stroud on 1st and 10. Schultz with the catch. This is ahead for about 5. Bobby Okereke making that stop.
You get this big old dude like him in the slot, it's an automatic mismatch advantage. You're trading a little bit of speed, sure, but you sure do get a lot of size. And anytime he's in the slot, you got to assume the ball's going his way.
From the 25 on 2nd down. Higgins makes the catch. And he's going to be taken down near the 8-yard line. That's a pickup of 17 yards, partner, and it makes it 1st and goal.
Well, that's a game that has its roots in preparation during the week. That's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday kind of stuff. Identifying ways to target the coverage and creating opportunities for big completions.
Four downs now to get in. Here's 1st and goal. From the red zone now. And he will score. Touchdown, Houston! The Texans grow the lead coming out of halftime. Nico Collins with the touchdown. Well, they definitely wanted to get that one out quick, Brock. They did just that, and it ends in 6.
We hear it all the time, but it is so true, Kate. This is a game about matchups. And when you see a throw that quick, it really was determined pre-snap. It was great design and tremendous execution.
Fairbairn now for the PAT. Extra point sent right down the middle. And the Texans push their lead to 18. Fairbairn has it all set up for the kickoff. Return coming from the 6. He stopped on the return at the 27. Now here comes the New York offense. And down double digits, Brock. Field goals like we saw on their last drive aren't going to move the needle as much as they need to. They'll get this drive started. 1st and 10. Back now, pressure on its way. He locates Daniel Bellinger. And it's a nice little chunk here, 6 yards. C.J. Gardner-Johnson there on the tackle.
Well, nothing very fancy about that. That's just a textbook curl route. I think they were running curl routes last century, and it's a play that works a high percentage of the time then, just like it did now.
2nd and 4. That's complete to Darius Slayton. And he's downed after getting this up to the 41. And that play goes for 8 yards, and it keeps this drive moving.
Good luck defending that short yardage slant. Just not going to happen. There's a reason. This is a go-to play for just about any quarterback in every situation.
1st and 10 from the 41. Trying to throw here out of the gun. That one is incomplete. Couldn't hang on through the contact. They haven't found it easy to score in this one, Brock, and physicality just like that, a big reason why.
And it usually is, Kate. I love defensive coordinators when they say, hey, it's not just what you see, it's what you hear. And you could hear the physicality of that knocking the ball loose.
Second and 10 now. Quick slant caught by Neighbors. And a nice gain here, but it stopped short of the first.
You know, I often say there is a fine line between aggressiveness and carelessness. And when you throw into double coverage, well, it can go either way. That time, a tremendous catch by his receiver on the other end.
From the gun on 3rd down. He had it for a moment, but a great defensive play to jar it loose. Incomplete. Well-timed strike by that defender to knock it free. And that'll bring up 4th and 3.
Well, that was almost one of those nice chunk plays you like to see in the NFL, Kate, before he was able to recover and provide the hit and ultimately dislodge the football. You like to see that physical edge and scrappiness to contest any kind of shot plays down the field.
And he's there to make the fair catch right at the 10-yard line. The Houston offense out and ready to set up shop. And taking a look at these highlights, Brock, just a reminder of the type of game that they have had throwing the football. It really has been the key to their success.
Yeah, they've just not only stayed on schedule here, Kate. Man, they've made some music, right? Great rhythm.
Yeah.
Not just ahead of schedule, but huge plays that followed. We've seen a lot of different looks and wrinkles throughout this performance, and it's been a joy to watch.
On target to his man Higgins. It looks like we can call it about 4 yards in the end. Drew Phillips making the tackle. Second and 6 coming up here. Shotgun now for Stroud. That's complete. Here's Kirk. And he's brought down after a nice gain and a first down. Staying between the tackles with Mixon. And he's only able to power this forward for about 3 yards.
You know, they got some positive yards. That's a good thing. But too many plays like that, it just is too hard to pile together, get first downs against the better defenses in this league.
2nd down now, 7 to go. On the ground again with Mixon. And once again, he doesn't manage much before getting brought down. They got 2 yards there. That leaves them with 3rd down and 5.
You know, not a ton of yards, but still showing that commitment to the ground game. The type of run that keeps the defense from loading up in coverage and focusing entirely on that passing game.
Stroud now on 3rd. Complete beyond the marker. And he'll get it up to the 44. Now after making that catch, we see he's shaken up. Trainer's heading out to take a look. From the 44-yard line now, 1st and 10. Out of the shotgun, a give to Mixon. And he's going to be brought down after reaching the 43. This is the end of the 3rd quarter. It's not quite over yet, but it'd take a pretty miraculous comeback. We've got a 3-score game as we get set to start the 4th quarter. Let's see how they attack this 1st down, Brock, from the 43. Motioning one of the tight ends. Going to the ground again on 1st. And he powers through the middle for a gain of 4.
He'll expect more from himself on those type of plays, but there is nobody that's going to complain about that one. If you can do math, 4 plus 4 plus 4 equals a 1st down.
2nd and 6 coming up here. Keeping it with Mixon. And this run doesn't have the juice of that last one. He's stuffed at the line. Looks like no gain on 2nd down, and that leads us to 3rd and 6.
These linebackers of today, they are so quick. They're so twitchy. You don't get a body on them in a hurry, they're going to stick you right at the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 6 for them to figure out now. Here's Stroud now. He's got him. That's Mixon. He goes the distance. Touchdown, Houston. The Texans keep adding to that 4th quarter lead. It's a Joe Mixon touchdown. His 2nd scoring catch of the game. Well, as they drive forward to what right now looks like it should be a win, Brock. He sure has taken advantage of a nice little chance to boost his stat line. His 2nd touchdown of the game.
Yeah, you just kind of feel these two building some trust, right? Just more and more equity. Certainly paying dividends in this one, but more than likely for more games to come.
Fairbairn now for the PAT. The point after splits the uprights. And the Texans grow their lead yet again. Fairbairn has it all set up for the kickoff. Here's a return from the 7. This return makes it up to the 25. The Giants about to get to work on offense. They struggled to produce on that last series, but better results ahead as they take possession here. Drive starts out with a 1st and 10. They'll come out throwing. Into the hands of Neighbors. And that's good yardage with a new set of downs.
That can be a hopeless feeling when you fire a curl route right into zone coverage perfectly like that. Unless that curl happens to be right next to where one of your guys is sitting, that pass can hum in there, and there's nothing this defense can do.
First and 10, looking to throw. He's on the move. Decent yardage picked up here before he slides down to avoid the tackle.
You know, Kate, back in the day, we had a slip and slide at practice for moments just like that. Actually practicing how to slide and get out of harm's way. Nice gain on the play, and denied that defense yet another chance to take a shot on him.
After a good pickup, they've got 2nd and 4. They kick the running back in motion. From the 45 on 2nd down. Catch is made down the right sideline. And he's brought down right in the neighborhood of that 40-yard line. 16 yards on the play. And it's good enough for a New York first down.
That's just a gorgeous corner route by the wide receiver. I bet you'll find, Kate, in the annals of football history, the best corner route runners as receivers are also the best slant runners, the best post runners, because it's all about change of direction, and that was put on display right there.
Finds a seam down the middle. And they finally bring him down, but that is a big gain and a new set of downs. They get 27 on the play, and the Giants will have a first down. It's an option to the left side, and he only gets this one down to the 9. It's a gain of 3 for him. That brings up 2nd and 7.
I could promise you that's not what it looked like on the practice field nor on the whiteboard. Typically, QB run is going to net you a whole lot more yardage than that, but let's give some credit. Strong effort by that defensive front who contained a play that typically goes for a whole lot more.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And oh, he got it! Interception!
You know, Kate, one of the tenets of the West Coast system that I was fortunate to play in, touchdown to check down. Touchdown to check down. You get in the red zone, it's touchdown to check down. You can't put the ball in harm's way. That's a brilliant job by the defense with their coverage, baiting the quarterback into the throw, but you got to sail that one into the stands. Touchdown or check down. You can't possibly give an interception in that situation.
The Texans and running back Joe Mixon headed out for their next series. With touchdowns on their last 2 drives, Brock, they're playing some of their best offense here. Could they try for 3 in a row despite the lead? Let's find out. They'll begin with a run by Mixon. And he's got a decent gain before being brought down. Give him 4 that time, so 6 to go on 2nd down. Here's Mixon, and he's going to take this one to the 25 before going down. They got 2 yards there, and that leaves them with 3rd down and 5. Stroud off the play fake. That's caught for the first. And they finally bring him down, but that is a big gain and a new set of downs. They managed 22 on the rip and a first down.
Part of the reason I leave you pregame, Kate, and get down to that field and watch these guys throw and catch is I want to see their timing. I want to see their anticipation. That is picture perfect right there. A crossing route thrown that quickly tells me these two are on the same page.
Football on that 47-yard line, first down. Going right side, Mixon with it. And he's going to be brought down at the 35-yard line. Give him 18 yards on that play, Brock, and it gets him a first down.
That's pretty good right there now. You don't always expect a sizable gain when you run it on first down. You just want some yards to set up an easier 2nd down play. But they will take that execution every time.
So we're down to the 2-minute warning here from New York. Texans coasting to the finish line. Nixon on the counter. And he could only get a lone yard. Took a couple of guys to haul him down near the line.
These are the kind of runs, Kate, that just soften up a defense. Keep working on them, keep working on them. And eventually you're going to break one of those counters for even bigger yardage.
They'll come to the line here, 2nd and 9. A give left side, here's Mixon. And he'll be brought down here at the 23-yard line. Pickup of 12 on that play. And it sets up a Houston first.
Ooh, I like that. I really like that execution to move the chains. Now that 3rd down call that they had ready, well, they could stick it right back in their pocket for a later occasion.
First and 10, are on to Mixon. And they try to power it forward, but only a couple of yards there.
If there's ever a play we could call garden variety in the NFL, I think we just saw it right there. That's an uneventful run and a pretty sound stop there defensively.
8 yards to go. Let's see how they approach this 2nd down. So the Texans come away with the road win. And it's not quite a full game shutout, Brock, but keeping that other side off the board in the 2nd half, that sure went a long way towards securing them this win. Made things a lot easier for everyone else to operate in the closing stages of the game. And with Brock Heward and our EA Sports crew, I'm Kate Scott saying so long from this one. It's a win for the Texans as we say so long from New York.